I have a moment for you from Newsmax where Donald Trump is asked about the January 6th rioters, and he responds with a pretty, I mean, I know this is his sentiment towards them, but still pretty disturbing sentiment, which is if he gets back in power, he's going to pardon them. They deserve financial support and many other false claims about them being politically persecuted. So I'll show you this moment and then we'll respond.
We write this wrong. What can you do?
So I met with a number of times, but I met with, and I'm financially supporting people that are incredible. And they were in my office actually 2 days ago. It's very much on my mind. It's a disgrace what they've done to them. What they've done to these people, it's disgraceful. And mostly, I mean, you know, it's they're firemen, they're policemen, they're people in the military. They're people that were, you know, you look at what took place with the police where they're ushering them in and so many different things. And we're working on it very hard. We're working with legals. You know, this radical left system, these people are sick. There's something wrong with them. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They're sick. And they don't mind. And they're cold. You know, they were telling me about some of the legal people on the other side. They're the most cold-hearted people. They don't care about families. They don't care about anything. They just, and you see what they're doing with the sentencing. And I will tell you, and I'm looking at it very carefully. I've studied it. I study cases, and contributions should be made. We have to do that because, you know, they have some good lawyers. But even the good lawyers, the
can't
judges,
be fraudulent judges.
I included all this because he just is so incoherent. We'll keep playing it.
He studies them. He studies.
Amen.
Yeah, you get some of these judges that are so nasty and so angry, mean, the sentences. And I will tell you, I will look very, very favorably about full pardons. If I decide to run and if I win, I will be looking very, very strongly about pardons.
So, setting aside that Newsmax hosts, amen, yes, they're so attitude.
Were they doing an interview or were they in church?
They were in church, baby. It was crazy. Setting that aside for a second, let's start with the multiple things. So first he said, I'm financially supporting these people. They need legal help. He studies cases very closely, and he's been studying there closely. He's been every night reading through those court documents. And then lastly, he would consider a full and total pardon of the January 6th rioters. And bringing up the fact that they're police officers, firemen, to me only identifies and highlights how sad it is what they did. Not that they shouldn't be held accountable for that. What do you think, Ruminate?
I mean, so I mean, there are a couple of things. Number one, the idea that President Trump would study anything other than perhaps the receipt of the McDonald's order that he recently made. Although, to be fair, the FBI apparently relinquished him of his most recent reading material. So I guess it's possible that he might look elsewhere.
I don't think he was. I don't know. That's one of the reasons I don't know why he had those top secret documents, as if he was ever going to go read them.
No, I know it was a coloring book for him. But I mean, look, no, I mean, you got it right. We know, I mean, there have been multiple interviews from former staff members of varying rank. The fact of the matter is President Trump has never really been an avid reader, and I don't think his aptitude or interest in it has improved over time. So number one, I don't buy that. Number two, as far as the police and law enforcement angle is concerned, I mean, yeah, it's true that it makes those who participated in January 6th much more tragic. But I'm also thinking of just the hypocrisy of it, period, when you also consider not only that angle, but like what the Republican Party has been doing lately with respect to the military, like their opposition to the PACT Act, right? So like that's the thing about the Republicans as this pro-law enforcement, pro-military party, only when it's rhetorically convenient, but really as a matter of policy, not so much.
Absolutely. And pretending like he cares more about these rioters because they were former or current police officers or members of the military or firemen. As you said, we know isn't true based on the legislative actions of the Republican Party recently, but even Trump specifically, the people that he's cheering on or wanting to pardon or financially supporting, apparently, whatever that means, he barely pays his own legal bills as if he's paying other people's, but we're going there and assaulting police officers. So what are we talking about here? And that's why Joe Biden, who all of a sudden has 10 times more energy than he's had most of his presidency, called out in a recent speech, don't pretend you are back the blue people or pro law enforcement if you're also someone who apologizes for, or in the case of Trump in that clip, directly advocates for supporting people who were very anti-law enforcement whenever, like you said, it suited them.
Yeah, President Biden, his exact words were, "You can't be pro-police and pro-insurrection," which is true.